Welcome back to my reaction videos. Today's video will be The Prince of Egypt. I love this movie. I saw it years ago and thought I would revisit it because first, it's one of my favorite movies, and two, it's taken from the Bible. So as a Christian, you know, I love anything that brings God's words to life. And it's excellent filmmaking. To me, it should have been nominated for not just Best Animation, but it should have been nominated for Best Picture. The filmmaking, the animation, the score, the directing, the voice work, it's just spectacular. So, without further ado, let's get into The Prince of Egypt. So excited. It's only 1.5 hours. Wow. Thought it was longer than that. So much story packed into such a short time. Again, shows you the brilliance of the filmmakers. The motion picture you are about to see is an adaptation of the Exodus story. While artistic and historical license has been taken, we believe that this film is true to the essence, values, and integrity of a story that is a cornerstone of faith for millions of people worldwide. DreamWorks Pictures presents The Prince of Egypt. The music, the score, oh my gosh. You know, it breathes. It's an integral character in the movie. There's just so much music does to bring scenes alive, captures emotions so effortlessly, sometimes better than words can. It's like our prayers. You know how the Holy Spirit says sometimes we don't know what to pray, and He communicates our groanings to God. Boom, 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 boom. Mud, sand, water, raw, faster, mud, lift, sand, and pull, water, and raise, so faster. Oh, the Hebrew slaves building the pyramids. Elohim, God on high, and you hear your people cry, help us now, this dark hour, deliver us. Hear our call, deliver us. Deliver us. Love the music, love the Middle Eastern, Arabic, Jewish influence, love it all. Middle Eastern music so distinctive.
That you may live, I pray we'll meet again.
Who did this score? Oh my gosh! Oh, and a segue. Oh, it's so beautiful. Moses, they're putting him in the basket.
Hush now, my baby, be still now, don't cry. Sleep and remember my love.
Oh, the heartbreak that a mother would have to do this, because Pharaoh had ordered all the male babies of the Hebrew slaves to be killed. Pharaoh ordered that, and what happened was that the Hebrew midwives, they feared God and didn't do according to what Pharaoh said. And the Hebrews grew and grew in numbers, and God blessed the midwives for obeying him and not Pharaoh.
Such precious cargo.
Someone deliver me glad. Oh, hippos and alligators, and this must be the Nile River. God is watching over that basket, precious cargo. The character designs, look at how beautiful the princess, the Egyptian princess looks. Deliver us to. Ah, Ramsey.
We will show Pharaoh your new baby brother, Moses.
Moses doesn't mean. Hold on. I think the name Moses means drawn from the river. I don't. I'm just making that up. I don't know. Let's see. It says the name Moses has multiple meanings and origins. The Hebrew, the name Moses comes from the Hebrew verb mish, M-S-H, which means to pull out or draw out. So he was drawn out of the water. In the Bible, Pharaoh's daughter gave Moses this name after rescuing him from the Nile as an infant. So I was right. It was the Nile River. The name Moses may also be an Egyptian word that means son. Interesting. Arabic, Turkish, and Hausa. The name Musa is associated with Moses and means child or saved from drowning. Interesting. Wow, look at this scene on all these ladders going up to the pyramids. Wow. In the darkness of the slaves working, and then you have, as the song crescendos, to deliver us. It comes out of the darkness. The scene lifts us out of the darkness and the toil of the slaves and the brokenness of the unfinished work. And it rises up over the head of Pharaoh, the statue they're building, and overlooks the land. And in the distance, what I assume will be Pharaoh's castle, but it's bathed in light, while the song crescendos to deliver us to the promised land. Excellent filmmaking, just brilliant. This movie deserves the Oscar for Best Picture. There are two animations that I've had this opinion on. Prince of Egypt is one, and the first one that I strongly believed should have been nominated for an Oscar as just overall Best Picture, not just Best Picture animation, and believe that it should have won, is Beauty and the Beast. It was just perfect filmmaking. Just everything came together to create a masterpiece. It just worked. Everything meshed together. Animation is just a medium. Filmmaking is filmmaking. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm a filmmaker, so I have such great admiration for people who do this, who make films, because it's so hard. It's such a difficult process, and to do it so well is a triumph. I admire all these artisans.
Hey, Ramesses! How'd you like your face carved on a wall? Say yes! How about now?
Moses and Ramesses being typical rambunctious young men. Instead of racing cars, they're racing chariots and horses.
Fun you want!
Not much of a view.
Second ball! Second play! Not for long!
This chase scene, you have action, you have adventure. The filmmakers are able to give you the setting, the town. They also give you some exposition. They give you the relationship between the brothers, that they care about each other and they like each other, and they're able to rib each other with jokes and everything, and you get all of this while watching an awesome action scene and with humor added to it. One of the hardest things to do as a writer and a director is exposition, like bring the audience up to speed. Monologues are able to do that well, but it can be boring. Films are visual media, so when you're reading a book, you can monologue all you want, but in a visual medium, you have to tell this through action and keep the audience engaged. You can do that with monologues in a simple setting also. It takes some instinct and talent to keep your audience engaged, and here they're able to do that with not just someone telling us about the relationship, but through the brothers doing something together, something fun, reckless, action driven, which matches who they are as young men. Young people take a lot of risks, don't think things through before acting. Some, I don't want to generalize. Yay to the director, yay to the writer. The nose falling on the raptor, great animation. That is dangerous. All that sand covering you, that can be fatal.
Why do the gods torment me with such reckless, destructive, blasphemous sons? Pharaoh speaks.
The fault is mine. I goaded Ramesses on. I am responsible.
When I pass into the next world, you will be the morning and evening star.
Damaged temple does not destroy centuries of tradition.
One weak link, break the chain of a mighty dynasty.
One weak link can break the chain of a mighty dynasty. Oh, all the foreshadowing in this scene is just, none of this was in the Bible. This is all the writer coming up with this, and it just puts everything into context.
No, it was really my fault. Must you be so hard on him?
Moses, you will never have to carry a burden like the crown I will pass to Ramesses.
Moses, you will never have to carry a burden like the crown I will pass to Ramesses. Ooh, you're so wrong, Pharaoh. Oh my goodness. Woo!
Allow himself to be led astray, not even by you, my son.
All he cares about is your approval. I know he will live up to your expectations. He only needs the opportunity.
And look at the juxtaposition of Pharaoh next to his statue. Again, showing the love between the brothers, that Moses would own up to being the instigator, trying to protect Ramesses, but then Pharaoh letting the boys know Ramesses is still responsible because of his position, his destiny. And the lesson that Pharaoh is trying to teach them, that with great power comes great responsibilities. Anyway, what a line.
Well, that went well.
Just go away.
Could have been worse.
The weak link in the chain. That's what he called me.
The weak link in the chain. Will Ramesses cause the fall, the Egyptian empire?
Accused me of bringing down the dynasty. There go the pyramids. You can laugh about it. Statues cracking and toppling over. The Nile drying up. Bring the greatest kingdom on earth to ruin.
He just repeated what I said. the Nile drying up. Oh my gosh, his speech is prophetic and he doesn't know. And he said, "You'll be responsible for bringing the greatest kingdom on earth to ruin." He didn't say this in the Bible, but it's just so brilliant that the writer had him speak prophetically in this instance.
You start something. I'm the one who ends up in trouble. Ramesses, you're in trouble, yeah. Thing. I am so upset.
You might as well.
Don't care at all.
More than I do that we're late for the banquet, for example?
You know, as they're playing around and Ramesses with his bald head and he's the heir, the older brother, and the happy-go-lucky, charming brother with more hair and the goatee, you know who they remind me of? Prince Harry and Prince William, where Prince Harry is the prince that everyone loves. He is Prince Charming and turned out to be a better leader. Just a thought that came to my mind when I saw Ramesses play with the wig on Moses' head, and when he took the wig off, he had that like brownish hair and then the goatee, and then Ramesses being bald with that little tough hair. It just reminded me of the UK princes and that dynamic where the younger one turned out to be the true leader. And from my eyes, from what I'm seeing, the work Harry has done and the legacy he's building is empathy and charm and authenticity. But Ramesses isn't bad here, while William... Anyway, that's for another time, another day. But I love this movie so much.
Father will kill me.
Nobody will even notice.
Oh, the young princes. Ramesses, you were just named Prince Regent. Apparently, Moses, someone thought he just needed the opportunity.
Mommy saved him again. Here in the Prince of Egypt, it was Pharaoh's wife, Ramesses' mother, that adopted Moses. But in the Bible, I'll have to check later, I'm not sure. But I think it was Pharaoh's sister that adopted Moses. And here in the Prince of Egypt, Moses doesn't know that he's adopted. He thinks he's Egyptian and Pharaoh is his real father and mother is the Egyptian princess. But in the Bible, Moses, at some point, Moses knew that he was a Jew.
I propose that the high priests offer tribute to their new regent. That's a good idea.
Go get her.
By the power of Ra, present for your delectation and delight.
The Midian girl. They like what they see. I paused it because they called her the Midianite girl, and I wanted to find out what region the Midianites were from. I just looked on Google and it says the sons of Ham mentioned within the book of Genesis have been identified with nations in Africa: Ethiopia, Egypt, Libya, the Levant, Canaan, and Arabia. The Midianites themselves were later depicted at times in non-biblical sources as dark-skinned and called Cushim, a Hebrew word used for dark-skinned Africans. So, I don't know, but there is another instance in the Bible when Moses' brother and sister were speaking against Moses' wife because she was not a Hebrew, and God did not like that. I'll look into that further later on. Okay, let's continue.
Let us inspect this desert flower. Why, I give her to you.
Won't be given to anyone.
Do you like that? You will show the proper respect for a prince of Egypt.
Respect you deserve. None.
Wait! Be still!
You there, half-head dried up. Prince Moses Chambers. My first act as regent, Moses, Royal Chief Architect.
Royal Chief Architect.
Well, right.
Tied in the...
Guards. Prince Moses. There's a man tied up in my room.
Please, I need water. May God protect you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect to see you here, of all places, at our door.
At last.
Didn't I tell you, Aaron? Didn't I tell you? I knew he would return to us. I knew you cared about our freedom.
Miriam, freedom? Why would I care about that?
You're our brother.
What?
They never told you?
Who never told me what?
You must know.
Be careful, slave.
Oh, my good prince. She's confused and knows not to whom she speaks.
I know to whom I speak, Aaron. I'm not a prince of Egypt.
Miriam, what did you say? Oh, Your Highness, pay her no heed.
You're not a prince of Egypt.
That's enough.
You were born of my mother, Yocheved.
Stop it.
You are our brother.
Now you go too far.
We beg your forgiveness.
Please, Miriam,
No,
let us
Aaron.
go.
Our mother set you adrift in a
Miriam.
basket to save your life.
Save my life? From who?
Ask the man that you call father.
Hear you.
God saved you to be our deliverer.
Enough of this.
And you are, Moses.
I said enough! You will regret this night.
Hush now, my baby. Be still, love. Don't cry.
Don't cry. But how would he remember that song?
By the stream, my last lullaby. To dream.
He wouldn't remember that as a baby, but good for dramatic effect. And here is, again, where it diverges from the Bible in that he didn't find out this way. It just was told that he knew that he was a Hebrew. But this is a pretty good way of taking dramatic license and bringing the story to life. It's just pretty cool way of doing it.
All I ever wanted was of incense,
Look at those columns. Gorgeous.
of alabaster stone.
Alabaster stone. And it looks real.
This is my home.
So beautiful. Every scene is just like a beautiful artwork, beautiful painting. There's just a way to scale them that gives it this operatic, cinematic feel. They did this with the scenery beautifully.
Sovereign Prince of Egypt. A proud history. Head start was all I ever wanted.
Is he falling asleep? Looks that way. Ooh. Did you see that? It went from a close-up of his closed eyes to the different texture and look of Egyptian hieroglyphics. That is brilliant. Oh my gosh. And it's so gorgeous. And the animation is different from the watercolor painting of the real world versus the outline textured. It's actually almost 3D, 2D mixed with 3D, because look at the wall, it's textured. It's Prince of Egypt was robbed. Oh, Moses' mother, sister, brother, and Moses. Even the colors are vibrant. Taking him to the Nile River in a basket. So I'm mixing this up with the Exodus movie, but it was in the Bible that, so it wasn't Pharaoh's sister, it was Pharaoh's daughter. And it's in Exodus 2, verses 8 through 9. Miriam watched and saw that Pharaoh's daughter found Moses, and Miriam approached Pharaoh's daughter and suggested that she could find a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby. So Miriam brought Moses to his mother to be nursed. So yes, that did happen in the Bible. So this takes some creative license with the story. Let's get back to it. This movie deserved the Oscar for Best Picture. Falls into the Nile and the babies are falling with him and it's filled with blood. So he's going through what would be their library. It's not written on scrolls, but the walls. They wrote their history on the walls. So he's going through and to see if what he saw in his dream was reality. Looks like he may have found confirmation. Yes, pointing. The soldiers taking the male Hebrew babies, throwing the babies into the Nile River with the alligators there to receive them and do away with them. It's horrific. The Bible did say this is what happened. God must have given Moses this dream, revealed to him what happened, because he was too young to remember. And this had all the details. So this has to be a vision from God. Look at the shadows with the firelight. It is there. The Hebrews grew too numerous, he said.
Sometimes, for the greater good, sacrifices must be made. Oh, my son, they were only slaves.
They were only slaves, he said. The inhumanity of humanity. The horror on Moses' face.
Moses, is this where you found me?
The princess. Oh, I've been calling her princess all along. In the Bible, she was the princess. She was Pharaoh's daughter, but in the movie, she would be the queen, right? Dork.
You are our son, and we love you.
Why did you choose me?
We didn't, Moses. The gods did.
Why did you choose me? We didn't, Moses. She said, the gods did. Well, God did. I don't know about those Egyptian gods, but the true and living God did choose Moses. Every song is beautiful. It's Here the River brought you, and it's Here the River meant. And it mixes with Moses' mother's lullaby. Oh my God. Whew. His eyes are open to the suffering. Before, the suffering was always there. And in the context of this story, he didn't see it because he didn't see them.
Moses! Look!
Stop it!
Whipping the old man.
Moses!
you know, when you look at people as less than and people are dehumanized, you can't see them. There's no empathy for them. You can't identify them as human beings who have feelings just like you do, and desires just like you do, and aspirations just like you do, you know. And that's why many autocrats and dictators, the first thing they do when they are ready to oppress or commit genocide is to dehumanize the people that they want to exterminate, so that people will join them in doing that, that people will not see them as other human beings. They can't empathize because they don't see them. So it's the first rule of thumb: otherize and dehumanize a group of people, and then that's how others will join in when you do the most unimaginable things to them, like Pharaoh did to the Hebrew infants. He said they were only slaves. So listen carefully to the language that people use. And even as a person that I'm a fan of a certain show, and I notice how fandoms have a tendency to dismiss certain characters. While they will empathize and make excuses and can relate to what some characters go through, with other characters that may not look like them, they dismiss them or get very annoyed with them when they have very human-like emotions versus the ones that they can identify with or they make excuses for because they can empathize. They see themselves in those characters. It fits that Moses is now just seeing the Hebrews suffering for the first time when it was always there. And you know, it's the very thing that God tells the human race that sin has done. We become self-absorbed, self-interested, and we do not care for others. We're selfish. God created us to be in relationship with Him, and from that relationship, our relationship with each other extends from that. And if our relationship with God is broken, our relationship with each other will be broken. And that's one of the issue in our world today. We're like, why is everything so bad? People are committing horrendous acts of violence and abuse against other people throughout the world. Why are the rich greedy and hoarding everything? And there's so much suffering, so much poverty when there's enough for everyone, but only a few hoards it and the rest scrape and fight and kill for it. It's because of our broken relationship with God, and which translates to our broken relationship with each other. That's the very thing that God wants to fix. And there is a solution. There's a way that He fixes that. The story of how He's going to do that and how He does it is foreshadowed in the story of Moses and his deliverance of the people from the bondage of Egypt into a relationship with Him, which foreshadows His rescue of us from the bondage of sin into a relationship with Him. But let's get back to the film.
Who did this?
Up there! There!
Moses, what's going on? Moses, you saw what happened. I just killed a man. I will make it so it never happened.
The brothers do love each other. Reminds me of Jonathan and David in the Bible. They were not biological siblings, but they loved each other unconditionally.
I am Egypt, the morning and the evening star.
I am Egypt, the morning and evening star. Oh, hey. If I say day is night, it will be written. Woo. Wow. The self-aggrandization of man. It's so interesting. If I say you are innocent, what I say matters. If I say you're innocent, you're innocent. The only one that can say that, and it really is that way beyond this life, is God. As an earthly king, yes, Pharaoh can pardon someone, but he has no power beyond this life, this world. And there is another world, the spiritual realm, which is even more real than this material world. I'll get into that another time in another video. Fascinating stuff. I love films like this that makes you think more about life and the true meaning of life and substantive things, you know, things that really matter.
I can't stay here any longer. Moses!
No! All I've ever known true is a lie. Not who you think I am.
What are you talking about?
Where's the man I once called father?
Moses!
The different tapestry of the desert, even that they brought to the screen here. How is he breathing under there?
Hey! Wait!
How did they pull him out? They're so...
Funny man out the well.
Well, that's one I've never heard before.
I thought they pulled him out because I'm like,
Don't
they're so little. They're trying to pull him out. They're trying to get the funny man out of the well.
You.
Why, Papa said never get married.
That's why Papa says she'll never get married.
Ladies, please, I'm really quite up. No. Please. The tickles.
Ladies, you've cleaned every inch of me. Whoa!
I was wrong.
She'll be my honored guest.
My father, Jethro, high priest of Midian.
That was the only, yeah, that when she came over and said, my father Jethro, high priest of Midian, that didn't flow naturally. Nothing is ever perfect. This is close to it, but
Not yet.
he's hungry.
Sorry.
My children, and let us also give thanks for the presence of this brave young man whom we honor here tonight.
I've done nothing in my life worth honoring.
Rescue Zipporah from Egypt. Then my young daughters found the stone that sits on the very top of the mountain. Mighty face, does it think it's more important than the stone that formed the veil? You can never see through the eyes of man. Look at your life. Look at your life through heaven's eyes.
Preach. There's some great words to live by in this song. He says, a single thread in a tapestry, though its color brightly shines, can never see its purpose in a pattern of the grand design, and the stone that sits on the very top of the mountain's mighty face, does it think it's more important than the stones that form the base? Look at your life through heaven's eyes. Wow. La 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 la.
One lost sheep, a shepherd boy, greater than the richest king.
To one lost sheep, a shepherd boy is greater than the richest king. And the passage of time. Here we have through the music another beautiful exposition. We see the relationship between Moses and Zipporah growing, and time passing, and him becoming a shepherd, working as a shepherd. And they're married. This is great. Oh, so romantic. I'm such a romantic at heart. Ah,
Love you.
said I love you to his wife. They're married. Hold on. In Numbers 12, the first few verses, Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of his Cushite wife, or he had married a Cushite woman. So, yeah, he did marry a black woman, and whether Midianite, Cushite, I don't know, but it's been understood that he did marry a black African woman. And Miriam set her mouth. Miriam didn't like that, and God disciplined Miriam for it and had to pray for her. Don't remember if it was Moses had prayed for her to be healed. She learned a lesson. Who God puts together, let not man put asunder or set their mouth against them. A lot of people twist God's words and use it for evil instead of what God meant and what God intended. For example, interracial marriages, because this is an interracial marriage. There's some Christians that teach that, oh, God forbids interracial marriage. God doesn't forbid interracial marriage. Far from it. What God does forbid is that if a person worships false God, he tells you not to marry that person. When you're married, God sees you as united as one, and there cannot be unity between God and a false God. Because a false God will lead you astray. So if there's one person in the marriage that's worshiping something that is false, that person as a spouse does have influence in the other person's life. The blessings of God can be thwarted if one is leading another person away from God. You're pulling your spouse away from the blessing of God, from the truth. So that's what God forbids. So if a people group are entrenched in the worship of a false God, God warns, stay away from that because you will be influenced. That's what the Bible teaches. But of course, leave it up to human beings to pervert and misuse God's word to push forth their agenda of hate. The burning bush. Is it hot? I guess it's not hot because he held on to it. He put his staff in the fire, but it didn't burn him. Put his hand in it, it didn't burn him. Moses. A voice calling to him.
Take the sandals from your feet. For the place in which you stand is holy ground. Who are you? I am that I am.
Ooh. Who are you? I am that I am. And the way they reverb the voice, I felt it and I got chills. Ooh, can you imagine hearing the voice of God? Ooh.
I don't understand. I am the God of your ancestors. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob.
You were born in my
What do you want with me? To deliver them out of slavery. Bring them to a good land. A land flowing with milk and honey. So unto Pharaoh I shall send you. Am I to lead these people? I shall teach you what to say.
Let my people go!
You've chosen the wrong messenger. How can I even speak to these people?
Made man's mouth!
Who made man's mouth? Go, Moses. When God speaks, you obey.
Now go!
Moses, I shall be with you. You will not listen. So I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders. Take the staff. With it, you shall do my wonders. I shall be with you, Moses.
Wow. Wow. That's what you call an encounter with God. Have you ever had an encounter with God? I have. It's life-changing. I didn't go on to lead a whole people out of bondage, but God did bless me and give me the gift of teaching. And I do teach a small Bible study, and it's amazed me the things that God has taught me and revealed to me through His Word and the understanding that He's blessed me with. There's times that I prepare for the Bible study and I read it and I don't understand, but I pray and ask, and He does open my eyes and reveal to me His Word, His truth, His revelation, and it's wonderful. And to be able to affect even one life and one person's, to give, help them to learn and to grow in God's Word, it's immeasurable, because then that one person then affects the next person, their family or their friends or a stranger, and then it multiplies, it bears fruit. God's Word does not come back void. So it's wonderful. We all can make a difference. And even here on this channel, I sometimes share little words of encouragement and stuff like that. And even if just one person hears it and it encourages them or inspires them to call on God or to read the Word or to talk to God. And the greatest gift that a human being can ever receive is Jesus Christ, salvation through Jesus Christ. So the very best thing you could do for another human being is to share the love of God through Jesus Christ. We can all make a difference and we can all do great things. The greatest is loving another person, and there's no greater love than what Jesus did for us. The sacrifice, dying for our sins. Yeah, that was my encounter with God, led me to that. And you watching this reaction with me today, and then me being able to share just a small snippets of my journey, my insights, what I've learned from God. Mid-reaction, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. You are valuable and your time is valuable, and that you chose to share even a few minutes enjoying this film with me or just listening to me, and the fact that you've even came to my channel. I appreciate that very much. I don't take it for granted. YouTube is filled with billions of channels, but you took the time to come to this one. I appreciated it, and I don't believe it's by accident. So I humbly humbly thank him. So back to the story. What's Moses gonna do?
But Moses, you're just one man.
Yes, he's just one man, Zipporah, but God is with him. No army, nothing, nothing, no one, no entity, no being, nothing can beat that. Nothing can beat God. You alone, if you have God, you have everything. Everything. Don't forget that.
They are free. They have hopes, dreams, and the promise of a life with dignity. That is what I want for my people.
I'm coming with you.
She goes with him.
Ramesses.
Moses? Is it really? Moses! Where have you been?
Look at you! Pharaoh!
But look at you! What on earth are you dressed as?
Oh, Ramesses. It's so good to see you.
He's so happy to see Moses. And he's now Pharaoh, the love.
Be still. Pharaoh speaks.
Pharaoh speaks.
I am the morning and the evening.
Ramesses,
It shall be as I say. I pardon forever all crime which he stands accused. He is the Prince of Egypt.
The Prince of Egypt, and all crimes have been that he's been accused of has been pardoned.
Ramesses, in my heart you are my brother. But things cannot be as they were. God of the Hebrews came to me. He commands that you let his people go.
Let his people go. God demands you let his people go.
Commands.
Yes.
Behold, the power of God.
Power of God.
Oh, impressive. Very well, Moses. I'll play along. Hotep, hoy! Give this snake charmer our answer.
I remember this scene of the priests, their dramatic magic show. All these statues. Is the Bible say, what are these stones gonna do for you? Things that we humans create with our hands, we worship and bow down to, and think they can influence the spirit realm. Spirit realm influences us, not the works of our hands.
Think you've got friends in high places.
Yes, he does have friends in high places with the power to put you on the run. Yes, he does. He doesn't think. He does have friends in high places. The friend.
You'll know what power is when we are done. Son, you're playing
Play with the
the
big
people.
boys now. They call him son. The big boys now. With the big boys now. Smoke! Give me a snake, give me a snake. Oh, snake! To your little Broadway show. Your off-Broadway show. Well, no, off-Broadway shows are good too. I don't know. Whatever.
All right, Moses. I know you. What's this really about?
He's not joking, Ramesses.
Ramesses.
He's not playing.
Look. What do you see?
A greater Egypt than that of my father.
Do you still not understand what said he was? His hands bore the blood of thousands of children.
Slaves.
My people.
So, you have returned. Only to free them.
Yes, he returned to free them. Don't make it hard, Ramesses.
I'm sorry.
I had hoped. I do not know this God. Neither will I let your people go.
Ramesses.
I will not be the weak link.
He will not be the weak link. You are being the weak link by not obeying God.
Tell your people, as of today, their workload has been doubled. Thanks to your God. Or is it thanks to you?
Uh-oh, he doubled their workload. Thanks to your God. Or is it thanks to you? Oh boy. Isn't that how it goes when we have troubles and we go to God and we pray and then things just seem to get harder. Situations, circumstances get worse and we're inclined to panic because we're looking at the circumstances, forgetting that everything is but a resource and God is the source. So instead, when things get worse, like in this case, God sent them a deliverer. God is going to help them, but it's going to get tougher before it gets better. This is what faith in God is about. Faith in God means faith in who you know God to be, the type of being He is. He's good. He's gracious. He's merciful. He's powerful. He makes a way out of no way. So that's what you're putting your faith in. You're not putting your faith in the circumstances. You're putting your faith in the source, not the resources around you. So even if you don't see a means or a way, you don't see the resources to make a way, put your faith in the source that literally creates resources. So all the things, all the things that we have in our lives, all the resources that we put such faith in, things that don't last, people who are far from perfect and will let us down, will betray us, versus God, who is never changing, who is good, and who holds tomorrow in His hands. So this is a great reminder that when we're struggling and we turn to God, not to lose hope, not to lose faith when things get harder, in the midst of us crying out and reaching out to God. Persevere, keep crying out, keep trusting God, keep obeying God. Same thing is happening here. The work got doubled. Could things get any worse? They will.
It's Moses.
Oh, look at that.
Moses!
They hit him with mud.
So, Moses, how does it feel when you get struck to the ground? I'm just trying to do as God told me.
God? When did God start caring about any of us? In fact, Moses, when did you start caring about slaves? Was it when you found out that you were one of us?
Aaron, you shame yourself.
That was Aaron? That was some random guy.
God saved you from the river. He saved you in all your wanderings. And He saves you from the wrath of Pharaoh. God will not abandon you. So don't you abandon us.
The Nile River.
Ramesses, let my people go!
Let my people go.
Bring him to me.
Bring him to me. So let's see what happens.
No!
Take the staff in your hand, Moses.
And put it in the water and blood.
Blood!
It's blood.
Jose, Hoy, explain this to me.
By the power of Ra.
Food color. And it looks like food color. That's not blood. Look at the blood in the river.
Abandon this futile mission, Moses. I've indulged you long enough. This must now be finished.
No, Ramesses. It is only beginning.
But Moses, didn't you see what happened? The priests did the same thing.
No, they didn't.
Pharaoh still has the power over our lives.
Pharaoh can take away your very life. But there is one thing he cannot take away from you. Your faith.
Your faith.
Believe. For we will see God's wonders.
Believe. Believe and you will see God wonders. That's truth. That's the truth. Believe and you will see God wonders. God, I do believe. Please reveal your wonders to me. And I encourage you to pray that prayer. Believe God. Believe God. Now just believe about what you want. Believe God, who He is, who He says He is. Believe Him and you will see His wonders. That's why you believe on Christ. You believe Jesus is God. You believe His sacrifice paid for your sin, as according to what the Bible says, according to what God says. You will see His wonders. You will see His redemption. You will experience His redemption. You will experience eternal life. You will see the glory of God. You'll see the wonders of God if you believe. Wow. Oh, the plagues, the frogs. Yes, to your things, to your streets, and to your drink, to your bread, to your sheep. It's in your field, in your sleep. Field. The fly, it's in the fire, in the down. In every town, they mix the two songs together. Every song, the great, my sword shines, my sword. The plague, my ice, my sword. Yeah, the priest can't come up with what God is doing. He doesn't hate you, Ramesses. Stop being stubborn. He said, let my heart be hardened. Oh my gosh. You don't want that. Let be heartened, and never mind how high the cost may grow. I will never let your people go. Ramesses, you cannot fight God. You cannot win. You cannot fight God and win, no matter how. Oh my gosh, that's a lesson that every human being will learn at the end of their life and at the end of the ages. No human being can fight God and win. Oh, darkness across the land. Wow. And the light is on the homes of the Hebrews. The darkness is in the areas where the Egyptians are.
I hoped I would find you here.
Get out!
Ramesses, we must bring this to an end.
You're always getting me into trouble.
But then, you were always there to get me out of trouble again.
Yes, he loved you, Ramesses, very much.
Why can't things be the way they were before?
They
Father,
can just let his people
it's
go.
so dark. Isn't that the man who did all this?
Yes. But one must wonder why.
Look behind you on the wall.
Because no kingdom should be made on the backs of slaves.
Right. No kingdom should be made on the backs of slaves. When will humanity get that? They won't. They'll keep striving for more and more. And the only way to feel they've won is to be above another, to oppress others below so that they can feel that they're on top, unfortunately. It won't stop until the end of the age. And we're getting there according to the Bible.
Stubbornness is bringing this misery upon Egypt. It would cease if only you would let the Hebrews go.
Yes, Ramesses, your stubbornness is bringing this misery on Egypt. It can end. Moses says it can end. All he has to do is let the Hebrews go. Egypt can still thrive. Egypt has its own people. Pay them. Give the work that the Hebrews were doing. They can do it. Or just pay them. That will enrich their society.
I will not be dictated to.
Hmm.
I am the
The
morning and the evening star.
I'm Pharaoh, blah, blah, black sheep.
Something
Have
else
you
is
any?
coming. Something much worse than anything before. Let go of your contempt for life before it destroys everything you hold dear. Of your son.
You Hebrews have been nothing but trouble. Father had the right idea about how to deal with your people. I finished the job.
Ramesses!
There shall be a great cry in all of Egypt, such as never has been or ever
You
will be.
spoke it into existence, Ramesses. Justice has come. What your father did, the justice.
God has come to me again, saying, take a lamb.
Oh, the Passover. Take a lamb. It's a firstborn lamb, and it had to be perfect. It couldn't have any blemish. The bones couldn't be broken. It's very important foreshadowing. Sacrifice it, and the blood of the lamb, take it and put it on the lintel posts of the doors. Wooden frame. Right? It makes a cross.
Mark the lintel and posts of every door. For tonight I shall pass through the land of Egypt and smite all the firstborn.
For tonight I shall pass through the land of Egypt and smite all the firstborn. So the angel of death, when he comes into Egypt and he sees the blood on the doorpost, he will pass over that home. He knows that they're protected by the blood of the lamb. Do you hear that? Do you see the foreshadowing? The unblemished firstborn lamb will die, and its blood will be shed to protect the people from the angel of death. The sacrifice of that lamb. Every story in the Bible is about Jesus Christ, the Messiah. It's all a foreshadowing before and after its prophecy for what's to come. Deep, deep stuff. How they did this scene with the angel of death coming in. Ooh, so creepy. Oh, such a well done movie. Look at that phenomena from the sky. We've seen great weather phenomena. So that portal just come. Oh my gosh. It wouldn't be amiss for us to see something like that in the skies. You know, with all these hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff, we see some extraordinary weather-borne phenomena. And then outer space in a galaxies, the way the stars and the nebulas and everything form. So this animation of that gorgeous portal, it's surreal, yet I can actually see something like that happening in real life. And it is just fills every nook and cranny, and just it's like a breath. Moves away from the door that had the blood. The door that doesn't have the blood, it goes in. It snatches the breath. Ooh. He gives and he takes away. God is the author of life. Ooh, that's sad. Wow. It's terrifying. Can you imagine seeing that? There's no way to run and hide from that. Ooh, the darkness and the shadows over Pharaoh's statue, Ramesses' face. Wow. All that, those souls, those life, it just took it, and it's gone. God is not to be joked with, people. He will not be mocked. No one gets away with anything. He either covers it for you, or you will have to pay for it. There's no escaping God's justice. And we need justice. Look at all these things happening. Look at the murders and the abuse. It's not fair. God hears them. All the tears people have cried. The blood cries out to God. He would not be a loving God if he was not just. Every pain, every tear will be accounted for. But in his mercy, he said, I'll pay for what you have done. He gives us free will. If you said, no, I don't want you to pay for it. I'm going to live my life my own way. He said, have it your way, but you will pay. Me, I'm grateful and thankful to God. I don't want to pay, so I accept his payment on my behalf. He's merciful and he's good and he loves us, so he pays for us. That's what Jesus did. He paid for the punishment that we deserve. Justice will be meted out. Wow.
Leave me.
He said, you have my permission to go. It hurts Moses. His brother's child is dead. Moses didn't want that. God didn't want that. But that's what arrogance and pride will get us. We think we're above God. And oh, look at that malevolent look from Ramesses. And the words of Ramesses, there'll be weeping and mourning in Egypt like never before. And there is. His words came to pass. God said, okay, have it your way. Oh, Moses is crying. He didn't want this. He warned him. You know, God always warns before he judges. God always warns before he judges. God is not malicious. God is not like us. God is holy and he's just. And his judgments are righteous. It's not out of pettiness.
Many nights we've prayed.
This song.
Proof
anyone could hear. Whitney Houston, the great, to me, the greatest voice ever. her tone. Not that she was the greatest singer. There's been great singers throughout history, but no one could beat her tone. And it's just the purity and the perfect. Her and Mariah did a fabulous job on this song. It's a great song.
There can be miracles
When you
believe. Though
believe
hope is frail, it's hard to kill.
to kill. If I had like Whitney Houston's voice, if I could sing like Whitney Houston's, you could not get me to shut up. I'm a writer. I also write songs. I write music and I attempt to sing it, but I know that's not where my gift. I don't have a beautiful voice, but you can't shut me up even then because I want to sing. So I'll try. I'll try my best. But if I could sing like Whitney Houston, see, God knows who to give his gifts to. Oh, look at the statues lying in the sand. It's just, wow. A fallen empire. They went into Egypt as a family, Israel and his 12 sons, and left a whole nation as God promised Abraham. You know, God called a man, just like God will call you. And he chose that man. He said, I'll create a nation for you. So Israel was not chosen because Israel is special. God chose a people. And because of God and his purpose for those people, that made them special. And the purpose was to reveal him to the world. He gave them the revelation of his word, and he built a relationship with them so the world could see who he is. So no need to be angry at a nation of people that God formed for that specific purpose, or to think that those people are better than and everyone, other nations are less than. No, God created that nation for that specific purpose, and he did it for love of all of us, for all the nations. He loves us. It was a means to reveal himself to the world, just like he will use you for a specific purpose. And because he is joined with you to fulfill this purpose, that makes you special, makes your purpose special. That doesn't mean you're better than anyone else in the world, right? Or they're less than. Oh, the shofar, because here come Ramses and his army after them. Now look at this impossible situation. What are they gonna do? Call on God. You have the Red Sea in front. They have an army behind them intent on killing them. What are you gonna do? They're between a rock and a hard place. Moses has a whole host of people, a nation, and the sea and an army intent on killing them. People, old, young, babies, carriages and cattle and livestock. What do? There can be miracles if you believe. Call on God, the source. Whew, I'm telling you, I needed this reassurance. So I'm sharing with you, but I'm also speaking to myself because I'm going through a little situation and I'm praying to God for a miracle. Oh, the fire. Woo! The fire from heaven, pillar of fire just came down and blocked the army. Woo! Moses was surprised, like, oh, I didn't know that was gonna happen. Whoa. In the Bible, it says God told him to put the staff in the water.
With this staff, you
Shall do
my
my
wonders.
wonders. Woo, chills. Woo! Part the Red Sea. Woo! What a spectacle! What an incredible animation! What an incredible God! What an incredible story! What an incredible miracle! God makes a way out of no way. Remember, He created it all. This animation is just, and the fire, the pillar of fire and the water, the walls of the water. This is what film does. This is what filmmaking is all about. Just bringing stories to life and immersing you in it and making you feel things and see things that just brings all your senses to life. Oh, look at the whale light. Shows the whale swimming. Oh, this is just amazing. Oh. Pray for me, everyone. Pray for me that I'm able to bring the films that I've written to the world, share them with the world. That it's a very hard process. It's just getting it funded. It's a miracle in itself. So I need all your prayers. I have some wonderful stories I want to tell, and a dream story that I would love to bring to the big screen. The people.
Just stand there and tell them! Soldiers, they're coming! Hurry, hurry!
You know, as Ramesses seeing this, you would think he would give up and said, okay, yeah, their God is God. This is God. This is the creator of the universe, because yeah, nobody else can do this. Defy the laws of nature and gravity and physics and all the things that he's seeing God do. And you're like, yeah, I can't fight that. The audacity of man. He's like, I'm gonna go after these people and get them back. After God said, let them go, and God did his he think he can rip them out of God's hand. Human beings are delusional. I just got it. Oh, we are delusional, because this is just, how are you gonna fight God and think you'll have any chance? Oh gosh. Just put it back together. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! How did these animators do this? Wow. And all those soldiers drowned. Moses thinks Ramesses is dead. Do not forget this miracle. Do not forget this miracle. Do not forget this miracle. God is the God of miracles. Do not forget, when things get really dark or hard, don't forget, God is the source. Your prayers were answered, Miriam. Your prayers were answered. And there is Ramesses. He did survive. He's calling Moses into the abyss.
Goodbye, brother.
You became the weak link, Ramesses, because you fought a force that you could not defeat. A wise person would know that you cannot defeat God. So do what he says. They are free as we were made to be.
They are free.
We're all God's creation, created in his image to be in relationship with him. The 10 Commandments. Do you know the new promised land? It's heaven, to live forever with Jesus in heaven, with the Father, in the Father's house. I love this movie. I said a lot throughout the movie, so I don't have much to say after it, but it's excellence. And it tells one of the greatest stories ever told because it's true. It's God's word. It's his revelation, and it's a reminder to us who he is and that we can trust in him and believe on him. This is what we were given gifts for, to share his glory and his story. The best stories are stories of God because he is love, and that's our purpose, to love him and to love each other and to live in that blessed union. So the greatest stories ever told are in the Bible. The greatest songs are about our God. Thank you so much for watching this magnificent film with me, and I hope to do many more biblical films and regular Hollywood fare. If you enjoy this and want to see more content like this, let me know. Leave a comment, like, and share it, and subscribe. I would appreciate it very much. I started to react to The Chosen. It's a series that I love, but not a lot of people watch that, so editing these reactions are pretty time consuming, so I would rather react to something that people want to see. So let me know by liking this if you want to see more movies like these. Okay? Thank you so much, and have a wonderful and blessed day.